Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today, I'm going to be discussing what happened with the BitMEX flash crash that took Bitcoin down to 8,900 on their platform. I'm going to talk about what we learned from that. I'm also going to discuss a little bit about bots and the flash crash that we're expecting to happen, and also how to prepare for some of that. Also, if you are part of the Patreon, I'm going to be sharing with you my flash crash preparation list, and this is for you to go over and to strategize your plan for placing low buy limit orders. Now, first, before I get started, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing information, giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. Now, currently looking at Bitcoin, it is currently at 63,879. Now, we saw Bitcoin go from like 72,000. It almost reached, believe 74,000. Saw it drop all the way down to $62,000. You know, people were celebrating not that long ago. Now they're like freaking out. And that's why I told you guys to be rooted and grounded in this and don't let the markets scare you, put fear into you, right? It's opportunity. If you're just a buyer and a holder, then this is another opportunity. If you're a swing trader, then guess what? You have opportunity. And I don't know when this whole flash crash is going to occur. The only thing that I'm going to do is tell you how to prepare for it. And you see this back and forth with Bitcoin, and they're liquidating longs, and then they're liquidating shorts, and then they're liquidating longs. You know, and they make it seem like Bitcoin is getting ready to move, but then it crashes even more, right? Or Bitcoin seems it's at its top, but then it goes a little bit further, right? Liquidating people on both ends of the spectrum. Flash crash we are looking for is for all exchanges with the majority of all cryptos flash crashing to zero or below zero. And it's going to be a flash crash, right? It's not going to last that long, right? It could be seconds, it could be minutes, it could be hours, it might even be a day. So now we're going to talk about the BitMEX flash crash. Bitcoin flash crashed to $8.9 thousand on BitMEX. Large sell orders worth $55 million drove Bitcoin's price down to 8,900 on BitMEX. The overnight crash was short-lived. The price crash on BitMEX occurred on the XBT, which is Bitcoin USD spot market, late Monday. BitMEX said that it's investigating the large sell orders that caused the flash crash. So Bitcoin suffered a brief flash crash to as low as 8,900 on the cryptocurrency exchange BitMEX, while prices on other exchanges held well above 60,000. Right? The slide began at 2240 UTC, and within 2 minutes, the price fell to 8,900, the lowest since 2020, and the recovery was equally quick, with prices rebounding to 67,000 by 2250. All right, so that's very important there when we break this down, because it started at 2240, it ended at 2250, and within 2 minutes from this starting, the prices fell to 8,900. Right now, I don't know how long it stayed at 8,900, but after 2 minutes, it was at 8,900, and then it took another 8 minutes to get back up to 67,000. Right? At the time this was happening, the average global price was 67,400. So this flash crash had some impact on the overall markets, but not as far as flash crashing on other exchanges. That's what we learned, that this whole process only took 10 minutes, and it didn't stay at 8,900 for very long, right? And it took a total of 8 minutes to go from 8,900 to back up to 67,000. So when we compare this to the overall flash crash, you know, it's not exactly what we're looking for. And if anybody had any low buy limit orders, you know, set at the 9,000 price or 10,000 price, they may have gotten orders filled. So even if you put $100 at the $9,000 price, right, you still would have benefited from that flash crash. Now, I do know that, you know, watching other videos, that people outside of the wealth transfer that don't know anything about what we're talking about, don't know anything about prophecy, have been sharing and teaching the same thing we are, but they're not talking about God and all that, right? Because it's just the world's view of how they look at flash crashes and how to benefit from flash crashes. You can do the research yourself on YouTube and just look up how to benefit from a flash crash. So this large dump did not have a massive effect on the rest of the markets. Right now, if this happened on Coinbase, it might have had a wider effect. Also, too, I want to point out and stress about bots on some of these other platforms. Now, from what I understand, we can't use BitMEX here in the United States, but apparently you can set it up and have a bot connected to your BitMEX account. Bots are going to play, I believe, a major role in the flash crash. And a lot of major exchanges either allow you through API keys or they have their own trading bots, and I believe that they're going to be instrumental in the flash crash, right? Because as the price is going down, bots, usually people will program their bot like if the price goes down a certain point to sell off everything, right? You can set it up that way. There's many different parameters you can use to set up your trading bot. You have platforms that have trading bots, and then you have some platforms that allow you to even use your own trading bot. I was using one previously on KuCoin, but ever since I just haven't went back to it. And with KuCoin doing what it's doing with the KYC, and there's always that possibility that you might, be restricted on your account because you're not supposed to be using it. I just didn't bother trying to go back and start up the bots that I was using before. And you might be able to set up your bots to buy Bitcoin also too at a penny, right? So you can set up your bot just about to do anything as far as pricing, right? And one of the things is that I doubt that a lot of large Bitcoin holders are actually using bots or have stop loss orders because of flash crashes, right? Now, when looking at the markets and looking at Bitcoin, if you look at the top 20 exchanges that actually have Bitcoin, you have to strategize how you're going to place your low buy limit orders. And not just for Bitcoin. I'm just currently showing you Bitcoin right now, right? So Binance has the most Bitcoin, and you can't set up low buy limit orders on Binance. Maybe you might be able to do it with a bot, or you might be able to do it with an outside bot. But for the most part, they hold the most coins. And I've already shared with you that you have to discount all of these coins because you can't place low buy limit orders. They do it by percentage wise. So if a crypto is at $1, you may not be able to set it at a penny, right? As far as a low buy limit order. But if let's say it gets down to 80 cents, then it allows you to put it in a penny. A Bitcoin price right now is at 63,000, and so they do it by percentage. So the lowest you might be able to put one in is at maybe around 8 or 9,000. So you got Bitfinex, Coinbase Pro, OKX, Gemini, Kraken, Bybit, Bitflyer. So I know that on some of these platforms, I know a lot of people have talked about placing low buy limit orders for Bitcoin on Hubaya or KuCoin. Well, you look at KuCoin, it's only got 6,051. There's some prophecies dealing with KuCoin being one of those platforms. I believe it's going to happen across all platforms, but not everybody can use KuCoin, but only 6,051. If somebody placed a $60 low buy limit order at a penny and reaches a penny, then you're going to end up buying all the Bitcoin that's on KuCoin, right? With only 6,000. And that's not to say that everybody has a stop loss order. I believe that the bots whatever bots that are running, that are making money off of Bitcoin, if you set it up to where it drops below a certain point, your bot will sell off your Bitcoin, right? But there's only 6,000. So it's one of the reasons why I want people to concentrate on other cryptocurrencies other than just Bitcoin, especially this late in the game. Many of us put in a lot of orders back in 2021, 2022, and as other people came in late in the game, they started placing their orders too. And when you look at the total balance, there's just around probably 2 million on the exchanges across the world, right? This is only showing you all the way up until Polynex has 32. So there's a lot more exchanges than this that probably have more Bitcoin. But if you understand what I'm saying, you need to use this as a guide to be able to determine how you place your orders, right? So when you're placing low buy limit orders, of course you're going to want to place your low buy limit orders on platforms that have the most on there first. All this is going to be different for every platform, right? You look at the amount of Shiba Inu. KuCoin has a lot of Shiba Inus, ranked number 4. So if you're on KuCoin and you have low buy limit orders, I think maybe 7 or 8 zeros, right? But this all depends on the trading bots. This all depends on how many people are putting in stop loss orders. If you own cryptocurrency on a platform and you don't have any orders set up, right? Maybe you even have it all staking. your crypto is not going to move anywhere without somebody placing an order or you have a bot doing your work for you. Right? So I want to make that clear. Bitcoin is just not going to magically appear into your account from somebody who's never placed an order for their Bitcoin. The website is coinglass.com/balance, and you can look at different balances for different cryptocurrencies. There's already so many people that have low buy limit orders in for Bitcoin. If I was new to the wealth transfer, say even in the last 6 months, I would not put that many orders in for Bitcoin. I'd start focusing on Ethereum, XLM, and then some of the other bigger cryptocurrencies, especially the ones that are over 100 or 500 or several thousand. And just to name one, Maker, M-A-K-R. Right now, on the platforms that I use, I couldn't place any low buy limit orders under a penny for Maker, right? But I got some in. So that's just one example. So one last thing on this BitMEX. They were doing their investigation. They said it didn't impact their derivatives markets. It did not move market prices and no liquidations were triggered. None of those things happened. And so that's the other thing that we have to think about, that when there is a flash crash, it has to be a major event. Because if it just happens all of a sudden, all the markets just start dumping for no reason at all whatsoever, there's going to be a massive investigation. There has to be an excuse, and say a war starting, a nuclear bomb going off. So there can be some events that could happen or take place that can cause the markets to go down. It has to be something that's going to impact all of the markets all at once. And when I shared with you the video about the guy from Bloomberg and how he was talking about how he sees a big flash crash coming, that has to be on all the platforms, right? Not just on one platform, but all the platforms. So maybe, this whole thing could be a test to see what happens. So just to kind of recap a little bit, there's a BitMEX flash crash. It took a total of 10 minutes to go all the way down to 8,900 and to come all the way back up. Right, this Bitcoin dump didn't necessarily affect the entire markets, right? And we talked about how bots may play a major role with this flash crash, because the moment these flash crash happens, a lot of these bots are going to sell off. Anybody who has a stop loss order in on any of these platforms, all those will trigger too as well. Also, I talked about how some of these platforms have percentages as far as setting up low buy limit orders. And we discussed how Bitcoin, there's not really a lot of Bitcoin on the exchanges right now, right? And we know that Coinbase is a custody for the big hedge funds, right? And so that's one of the things that we're looking at, and one of the reasons why we put low buy limit orders on Coinbase. So one other thing that I want to share with you guys, and that is how these low buy limit orders are going to work. So when you place a low buy limit order, let's start off with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Some people have said they put in low buy limit orders at $1 or 50 cents or 10 cents or a penny or even less than a penny, 0.001. Some people have said that they've had dreams where people's orders were not filled. And I think I'm going to share one of the reasons why. So when you place a low buy limit order, let's say you place it in at $1, right? For Bitcoin and Ethereum, you place a $10 order, right? And then you have maybe another order at 50 cents or then at 10 cents and then maybe at a penny, right? So you have a $5 order there, a $5 order at 50 cents, a $5 order at 10 cents, and a $5 order at 1 cent. When the price drops and it flash crashes, right, down past zero, right, it's going to trigger your dollar order, your 50 cents order, your 10 cents order, and your penny order. And it's going to try to fill it at $1 or cheaper, or 50 cents and cheaper, or 10 cents and cheaper, or 1 cent or cheaper. Your order at 10 cents and you got 50 Bitcoin, it can fill at 5 cents. It can fill at 1 cent. It could fill it at below a penny, right? It's going to try to execute the best price at that time. So even if you have a dollar low buy limit order, say you have $5 worth, and it's flash crashed, it's going to try to fill that order before some of these other orders. So if the flash crash was to happen today and XRP is sitting at 60 cents, right? And maybe you have some orders in at a penny. Maybe you have some orders in at 0.001, right? Some people might even have it at 0.0001, right? So again, if it flash crashes and you have orders at 10 cents, 1 cent, 0.001, it's going to try to fill those orders, right? And we don't know what the bottom is going to be. It could be 0.005. Now, somebody who has an order of 0.0005, but it only goes to 0.0001, that order is not going to get filled, right? Or what if it barely touches it and then goes back up? You see, that's why some people's orders aren't going to be filled, because you're putting some of them way too low for some of the cryptocurrencies. Now, this is a perfect example. Let's say, out of all the prophetic dreams that are out there, XRP, the lowest anybody saw it go to was 0.0001. Your orders at 1 cent are going to try to fill it all the way up to that 0.0001. But if you have orders in at 0.0001, it may only touch that for a second, right? So then you would put your order at 0.009. Right? Now, if you say you saw orders filled at that point at 0.0001, if you actually placed them at that low, but you can place them actually higher than that, and your order still fill below that. Now, when it comes to Shiba Inu, right now it's sitting around the point, 4 zeros and a 3, and there are prophecies that there were 7 and 8 zeros when this flash crash occurred, so you're not going to put any in between. Right, so you got the 7 zeros 1, you got 8 zeros 1, and I think even on some platforms people were able to put them in at 9 zeros and a 9. But if you place your low buy limit order for 7 zeros and a 1, it's still going to try to fill at 8 zeros and a 1, or 8 zeros and a 9, or it's still going to try to fill it. If it can't fill it all at the price you're asking for, it's going to go for the best price. So during a flash crash, your orders may fill at different prices. So hopefully you guys understand this, that, when people say place low buy limit orders for Bitcoin at 10 cents and at 1 cent, but people have seen it go below 1 cent, right? There's a reason for that. And the reason why we do it is because your order can still fill. You can use this to strategize with any cryptocurrency. Hopefully you guys have learned something. Hopefully I've taught you guys something. And hopefully this will help you put your plan together as far as your overall low buy limit orders. So I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out. All right, now for those of you on the Patreon, the flash crash preparation list. Now this is for you to use and to create your own flash crash preparation. Now you can copy all of this, right, and then paste it into your own Google document spreadsheet, right? And then depending on which exchanges that you're using, you can modify what I have here. Now the prices, I can't keep going back in and updating all the prices because it's just ridiculous and how much the prices would change. When I originally put this together, the price of Bitcoin was at 30,000. Right? Ethereum was at 1,900. So this is my own personal list. Down below here are the exchanges that I've used, and you can tell that if it's been blacked out that I cannot place a low buy limit order for those cryptocurrencies. Now, I didn't do this for every single token because it depends on the platform, whether it's a United States platform that I can use or I have to use a VPN, right? Like MEXC, KuCoin. So also LBank. I only have one order on LBank as far as low buy limit order, and that's it, right? Since they started blocking U.S. users, I'm not taking any chances by having a lot of crypto on some of those exchanges. So if things flash crash and you end up getting your account frozen because they found out that you're in the United States or another restricted country, they can confiscate all of your crypto. So I want you guys just to be aware of that. So down below, Coinbase, I've already marked which cryptocurrencies now that are not available. Now that could have changed since I last updated this. So it'll be up to you to find out. So what you will do is that you will, so you can put this together for yourself and check each coin for yourself. All you have to do is copy it. Then you're going to open up a new blank spreadsheet and you're just going to paste it. So that way you start fresh, brand new, you can go through and look at all these different coins, and you can say, these are the coins that I want to place low buy limit orders, right? And you can see here, even ICP is like now up to $11. Files like $10. You know, a lot of the prices of these have changed. But this is just a guide. Most of you should recognize most of these. And if you're limited on funds, stick to the bigger cryptocurrencies. When I did this, there are currencies that are from $100 to $999, and you can place, depending on your platform, you can place low buy limit orders for like Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, you know, Quant, Maker, GNO, PaxG, YFI, which is sitting at 7,000. So why not put in a low buy limit order for that? Leash, BNB, Solana, which is almost 200 now. So that would be in this category. Some of these coins have gone down and some of these coins have gone up since I've did this. So you just have to do your research when you're putting this together. So say, for instance, you want to copy what I have here from Coinbase. You're just going to do the same thing. And you're going to copy this. When it comes to adding a new page, right, you have your main page sheet here. There's a little add sheet here. Click on that. Paste, and voila, you have the Coinbase, and you can individually name these. You can rename it to say Coinbase. So you want to copy and paste this for your own study and use, right? And you can copy some of the ones I did Gemini, which ones were not available, the ones that are blacked out. Now, of course, that could have changed. I didn't do all of Kraken's. I didn't do all of MEXC's or Bitmart, right? So my exchanges I use the most as far as here in the United States is Coinbase, Gemini, and Kraken. I also use Uphold. Uphold has a percentage to place low buy limit orders. So when XRP was around 33 cents, I think I was able to get in some low buy limit orders on Uphold for like 5 cents. You know, this is one of the reasons why, like, I'm thinking, okay, God, not everybody can afford to place low buy limit orders. You're talking about maybe the top 20. You could place $5 each at a penny, you know, so you have to choose, okay, I already have some in for Bitcoin. I already have some for Ethereum. Well, how am I going to spread this out, right? And usually you want to spread it out in $5 increments. Now, some platforms require you to put in $5.25. So here on Coinbase, you can see where I've marked the lowest for Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Maker, GNO. 1 cent was the lowest that I could put a lot of these in, right? But it doesn't matter, right? Because if the price goes below that, my order can fill anyway. So I'm not too concerned. If I get $5 order of 50 Litecoin, I'll be happy with that. If I get 50 Makers at a penny, I'll be happy with that because that's like, what, 3,000 or whatever right now. So when we talk about the wealth transfer, right, it's not just about Bitcoin. It's about other cryptocurrencies too. And Shiba Inu was actually one of the ones, including Luna Classic, as far as like God really wants us to take a hold of these projects. And so when it comes to low buy limit orders for Shiba Inu, I mean, just imagine the amount of Shiba Inu that you're going to be able to purchase when it does go down to those very, 7, 8, 9 zeros. And since we have the foreknowledge of this, that this is actually going to happen and this is going to occur, then, a significant portion of the wealth transfer is going to own Shiba Inu. Like I said, you want to do this to strategize for your own plan and which currencies you want to place low buy limit orders, right? So you're going to do your research on each one. If you're limited in funds, the less money that you have, the more likely you want to go after coins that have a higher value, right? And maybe some of them at a lower value. And I don't know when this is going to happen. And I'm hoping that God will take cryptocurrency to another high level before we actually get this major flash crash, right? Because I want some of you to be able to go in and not just place 5 or 10 orders for different cryptos, right? I want you to be able to place 10 or 20 or 30 or $40 in low buy limit orders for each cryptocurrency that God is sharing with you to get as far as this crypto buffet that's supposed to take place. So the link to this will be down below in the description. I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.